Happy Sunday, YouTube. I was sitting here on this cold Sunday and really reflecting, you know, the moment in time I made the decision to stop building my field organization. And it's hard for me not to think about it because this happened on November 17th, 2014. I made that decision. And the way it was solidified was that I personally guaranteed at Senior Life Insurance Company that I would pay for every single Spanish television lead that came from the marketing that Senior Life was going to put on for us. And sure enough, Senior Life, they came through on their word and committed for 1 full year television marketing. And I committed to my word of guaranteeing that if for every lead that came through from no matter what state, I would be responsible for those leads. Meaning that if I didn't have an agent to take it, then I would have to basically buy the lead so I can work it. And we went ahead and did that. And that was on November 17th, 2014. And I'll tell you, it was a little bit nerve-wracking. For those of you guys that don't understand, television advertising can be very, very expensive. And when you're making a 1 year commitment at that magnitude, well, it could break you. And in our case, it was a stepping stone in the right direction. And we knew that once we pulled the trigger, there was no going back. And, up until that moment in time, I was on the phones. I learned the telephones in 2011. But up until then, I was, very, very hesitant, about the phones. And it was hard not to because of what people would say in the background, the negative comments that they would say about telephone sales. But just over the course of time and doing it personally, I gotta say, from 2011 to 2014, when I made that final decision, it just proved that it could be done over the phone, not once, twice, 3 times, but as many times as you wanted it to happen based on leads, follow-up, upsells. But it was still difficult. In fact, in 2013, I was number 1 at Senior Life and mainly door knocking. And we had a 36% growth that year in 2014, and we were number 1 again for 2014. So that was making it even more difficult for me to make that decision of finally making that separation of one or the other. And, I share this with you guys because a lot of people ask me, why? Why would you do that? I'm number 1 at a carrier. I'm already 1 and just growing. Got a lot of resources, but why would you do that? Why would you take a step back? Well, here's the reason why. I realized that, yes, I was number 1, but my direct mail costs were just too expensive for me and my agency. Has nothing to do with the carrier. The carrier is there to pay commissions, service clients, and pay claims. It's my job to make sure that marketing costs are affordable. That was the biggest one for us in the field business. Living in the state of California and Texas, it was almost close to impossible to get a lead cost that agents can do once, twice, 3 times and build a career. But it was hard for us to have agents literally pay thousands up front for direct mail drops and have nothing come back. It was just hard for those agents to keep going. Travel, traffic, California traffic, it was just ridiculous. So you might have a ton of leads, but now those leads are all over the place and the logistics was just insane. And when all those little things started adding up as a field agent, over the course of those 3 years, they started adding up and they started really making sense that learning the phones and building my skills on the phones eventually would pay off. And I credit Senior Life for showing me how to write over the phones, because they truly are the pioneers of telesales. I don't care what anybody says. Ron Powell and Dale Powell, they really designed how it works with the state, federal, and the agent level. And they definitely are the pioneers of it. But as I sit here and reflect over just why I made that decision to go 100% on the phones, it wasn't easy, but it was a lot easier than going down the path of losing money every month on my direct mail, going down the path of the time management. And yes, it meant that I was not going to be able to recruit all these agents, simply because it takes a special agent that wants to learn the phone business and has the tenacity to be able to get it done. Most agents are looking for free benefits, free everything, and they're not really focused. And with the telephones, because we have to find good candidates, our screening process is always been a little bit stricter, but that's been good for us because we're not dealing with the headaches of agent roll-ups, agents leaving leads behind. That stuff has pretty much disappeared because of us making the change to the telephones. And I know for myself, at that time, making that personal guarantee with Senior Life for all of that television marketing was a big, big step in a major decision. But I encourage you that if you're already on the fence now and you're doing telephone sales and field sales, I encourage you to really look and ask yourself, why not just do it 100% over the phones? And if you're a field agent and you're picking up the phones to make appointments, to set up your week, you should honestly ask yourself the same question, why you're not on the telephones just closing and processing the applications. I came from the field. In fact, for a very, very long time, I spent knocking doors, door to door, myself. I had a marketing team that would knock on doors as well. And we understand exactly what it takes. So I encourage you, from an ex-field agent myself, ask yourself, why don't you learn how to process the application over the phone once and for all? If you're already doing telephone sales and you're doing field, ask yourself the same question. We're looking to partner up with the right individual. We would love to show them our program and, represent a handful of insurance carriers. And if that's you and you got a personal home office, you got a setting where you can do it, we would love to talk to you. If you notice in the bottom section is all my information. Please feel free to send me a letter of intent or a message. And if you like this, hit like, subscribe to my channel. We're definitely building our YouTube channel here. And it's definitely a great vehicle to reach as many people as possible.